You know, one of the most common questions parents ask is this: which school board is the best for my child? Should it be CBSE, ICSE, an international board like IB or Cambridge, or maybe even one of the newer ones like the Australian board entering India? As parents, it's natural to overthink this. We all want the best for our kids. But here's the honest truth. There is no single perfect board. Each has strengths and weaknesses. What matters is what works for your child and family. So let's break this down simply. By the end of this video, you'll have a clearer picture of what really matters when picking a board. First up, a quick reality check on the Indian school landscape. Let's start there. Here's what you need to know. Quick reality check. In India, most private schools register with the state first, then apply to run CBSE, ICSE, IB, or Cambridge. So even the fanciest international school in your city is still connected to the state system. Out of 1.6 million schools in India, the vast majority are government or low-cost private schools. CBSE and ICSE are only a slice of the pie. So when we debate CBSE versus ICSE versus IB, we're often talking about that small slice. This means the choices you see in your city may not reflect the full national picture. Let's look at each board, starting with ICSE. ICSE has a distinct history and style. We'll unpack that now. ICSE has been around for decades. In fact, its roots go back to British times. Parents often say, "I studied in ICSE, so my basics are strong." And it's true. ICSE is content-heavy, especially in English and science. But the flip side, ICSE hasn't evolved as quickly. The syllabus can feel heavy and a bit rigid. Historically, ICSE exams were set and corrected in England until the 1970s. That prestige shaped expectations. Many top ICSE schools of the 90s haven't always kept pace with modern educational needs. So yes, ICSE gives solid basics, but it can feel rooted in the past if the school doesn't update its approach. Next, CBSE, the most common board across India. Let's see how CBSE compares. CBSE is run by the central government, so it aligns closely with national policies and frameworks. Whenever there's a new national framework, like the new education policy, CBSE schools are usually among the first to implement it. But quality depends heavily on the school. Kendriya Vidyalayas and army schools can be excellent. Others, not so much. CBSE can be exam-focused. If your aim is medical or engineering entrance exams, many families see CBSE as a practical choice. That said, CBSE has improved. Many schools integrate project work and activity-based learning now. Now let's look at international boards, Cambridge and IB. Both offer different approaches. Here's how they differ and what that means for skills. Cambridge tends to be more prescriptive. Clear textbooks and structure make it easier for schools to implement. IB is a framework. It gives teachers freedom to design lessons around big concepts and connections. For example, learning about salt might include chemistry, history, geography, and economics, making learning more connected. That sounds great, but IB requires well-trained, motivated teachers. Good teachers are in short supply everywhere. IB is often seen as expensive and only for kids going abroad, but that's a myth. Plenty of IB graduates do well in Indian universities. The real strength of international boards is skills for life, problem-solving, creativity and communication, rather than rote exams. And with boards like the Australian one entering India, more affordable international-style options may appear. But ultimately, boards matter less than the skills kids actually pick up. Let's talk about those skills. So what should you really focus on as a parent? Less about the board, more about the skills your child builds. People skills, connecting, collaborating, and communicating, are a superpower in today's world. Learning how to learn, not just memorizing, is crucial. Kids must adapt and figure things out on their own. Handling stress and emotions, resilience, coping with failure, and asking for help matter more than ever. Post-COVID, we've seen how important emotional resilience and flexible learning are. Practical experiences, internships, projects, real-world tasks, teach more than exams alone. So whether it's CBSE, ICSE, or IB, check if the school builds people skills, independent learning, and emotional resilience. All of this brings us to something we don't talk about enough: teachers. Here's the big one. A motivated, passionate teacher can change a child's life. Conversely, disengaged teachers can hold kids back. Infrastructure isn't the same as good teaching. Many schools underinvest in teacher training and pay. Surprisingly, some government teachers earn more than private school teachers. As parents, ask schools, how do you support teachers? How often are they trained? How are they valued? A tough pill. You can't outsource everything. Paying fees doesn't mean your job is done. Simple things like packing a bag or tying shoelaces build confidence more than you realize. Don't shield them from every difficulty. Growth happens when children try, fail, and get up again. Teachers plus parents together shape outcomes. So again, which board should you pick? The simple answer, it depends. If you want strong basics and can handle heavier workload, ICSE works. If you're focused on competitive exams, CBSE is practical and widely supported. If you want global exposure and concept-based learning and can afford fees, IB or Cambridge are great. And with boards like the Australian board entering India, more choices, sometimes more affordable, may arrive. But remember, no board is perfect. What shapes your child most is teachers, supportive parents, and opportunities to grow. Ask schools how they support teachers. Look for life skill opportunities and practical experiences. And be involved. Encourage independence at home. At the end of the day, the goal is confident, resilient, happy kids ready for the real world.